What's up, guys and gals? Your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys Record of Ragnarok Season 2, Episode 7, entitled 100 Seals Review. And, I don't really got much to say. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Episode 5 was fantastic. Episode 6, continuing the greatness. And moving some stuff around from the manga, where the anime decided to place it, definitely going to work to the benefit of Round 5 here. But, as I've already stated before, Round 5 is certainly not in my high tier, high expectation of rounds. I didn't really care for the fight too much in the manga, but one of the big problems with the reason as to why has been fixed by the anime. By moving the Buddha, Loki, Okita, all that scene, all into one scene before we even got introduced to Raiden and Shiva being the combatants for Round 5, that certainly has helped. Because Round 7 just felt like it went by really quick. It flowed, they seemingly cut. Now, once again, I haven't reread the manga chapter, so maybe they're saving certain aspects. There is more to Raiden's backstory than is shown in the anime. Raiden's backstory being fine or whatever. They just sort of did the bare bones stuff, the initial, why is Raiden, strong and stuff like that. They did that. And that's, of course, all about the 100 Seals. The animation in this episode was certainly fine. The fight so far is going pretty much the same way as the manga. It's not bad. It's pretty good. The voice acting and stuff, I watched this episode in both Japanese and English, of course, and I like the English one more, similar to how I enjoyed Round 4 more. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Generally speaking, the English dub for Record of Ragnarok is more enjoyable for me. A lot of great voice talent, a lot of great voice actors, and Shiva being voiced by Bond from Seven Deadly Sins, I mean, you got my attention. You had my curiosity. Now you have my full frontal attention. So, this was a they fight episode, so I don't really have a whole lot to say. I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to be relatively short as far as an episode review goes. The music and everything was fine. The pacing was fine. I didn't really have much of a problem. The animation quality was not as good as some other episodes. I'll give you that. But for the most part, it seemed alright. Maybe a little more budget was put into the episodes 5 and 6. I mean, you can see that. I'm not seeing a whole lot of CGI. Which, once again, I think this is one of the key things is that the CGI not being used is making the animation quality almost feel a little like, oh, there's not as much, because they did do everything in this episode from what I saw. Maybe I missed one or two animated scenes, or CGI scenes, I should say. But maybe that's sort of the lack there. They're trying to move away. They used the CGI stuff for the Heracles and Jack fight more so, and now we're not doing a whole lot of that here. I mean, sure, fine. Sounds good. Because once again, a lot of people don't really care for CGI in their anime. I understand why. And, even if it does look decent or good like it did in Round 4, if they're going to step away from that in Round 5 and a couple of shots don't look the best, fine dandy by me as long as it's animated. So, yeah, I mean, this fight, as I said, this disappointed a lot of people initially in the manga. For me, from a narrative perspective, it was obvious who wins Round 5. And that's why I think part of the reason, the anime they can't fix everything, of course. Because this is a manga problem. I don't think, you can look at it as a problem, it's up to yourself. But not only do we have the extremely popular and, how should I say this? Of a lot of devout followers of the real life Shiva, still to this day, and trust me, there was a lot of backlash. I have videos that can prove, that comment section can prove, a lot of people not too happy about the interpretation of Shiva in the manga and in this round. Regardless of it just being an interpretation, don't take it too literally, but people still get up in arms, right? So there's that, and that sort of put a damper, a bit of a sour mood on Round 5 from the get-go. But also the fact of the matter is that, from a narrative perspective, we knew who was going to win. And as I said, they're moving the Loki and Buddha scenes much different from the manga, and moving it here in the anime was great to help the flow of this particular episode, which is good because it's just a they fight. We get Raiden's backstory. Cool. Next episode, I assume we're going to get Shiva's full backstory. Which, once again, I wasn't too crazy about Shiva's backstory in the manga. But at that point, I had already been disinterested in round 5. Both the community was being very toxic, and certain, people that really enjoyed the real life Shiva and stuff like that being extremely toxic in every comment section you could find and stuff like that. Made for a very sour note at the time of round 5 when it was coming out. The pacing was off with the moving of the scene, like intercutting between they fight in round 5 and the Buddha Loki stuff, just keep going back and forth. So round 5 was kind of a mess from the beginning, and it didn't help that it was Shiva in that particular fight. But this episode, I don't really have a whole lot negative to say about it. Like, as I said, the fight so far is flowing okay. As I said, next episode, I'm sure we're going to get the Shiva backstory. And I'm looking forward to that because, as I said, I already like the voice of Shiva in the English dub a lot. I'm looking really forward to seeing how they're going to, who's going to be voicing Rudra. That's going to be really cool. Because I'm just looking forward to that. I really liked Rudra. That was probably the best part. One of the best parts of Shiva's backstory was seeing all these really cool gods from the Hindu pantheon, and seeing Rudra's a really cool design. Rudra's really cool. Curious to how the voice is going to be for that and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of any big takeaways from this particular episode. As I said, very, very short review. I hope I have more to talk about in episode 8's review. Yeah, because this particular one was, they fight the animation where he releases the 100 seals. Really well done. Really cool. Really felt the power from that particular, the animation was really well done there. Thrud, you must help me. And then boom, 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 and he finally controls all his muscles, and he goes forth and he attacks Shiva. We get the clasping of the arm, the break, and sort of idea like, I'll take your arm, God, and all that stuff. They headbutt each other to death at the end of the episode. It's actually quite an intense fight. Like, I don't have a whole lot of, like, holy shit, because I already knew it was going to happen, but at the same time, I don't have anything negative to say either about the particulars of the fight so far. I quite enjoyed the episode. I thought it's sped right by. I was like, wow, like that must be the 10-minute mark or something, and boom, it was already over. So definitely pacing-wise, it's flowing so well, because I didn't even think, like, I wasn't sitting there like, okay, the episode must be over by now. No, I was surprised when it ended. So that's usually a good sign that you're invested, you're watching. When things go by too quickly, it's usually a good sign about well-directed, well-paced, that kind of stuff. So, anyways, that's all I really got for this particular episode, episode 700 Seals. Ryan's backstory, they fight, and so far it was pretty good, There's more to Ryan's backstory that I'm hoping to see later. I hope they don't skip it. And Shiva's backstory clearly coming up next. Rudra name dropped at the end of the episode, so looking forward to that because, as I already said, round 1, I was like, it's a fight. It was still, to this day, I argue it's the most brutal of all the rounds to date. It's still the most brutal round with the most gore, with the most impact and all that stuff. But that's all it was, and it was very short-lived. Once I watched the anime, even though season 1 was not very well received, I had a new appreciation for round 1, and I'm hoping to gain that with not only Shiva's backstory, but round 5 as a whole by the end of episode 10. So we'll have to wait and see if, the anime changes my opinion, or at least improves my opinion about round 5 by the end of episode 10. So anyways, that's it from me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will be back here for more Record of Ragnarok content. You can bet your ass on that one, and we'll see you guys back here next time. Have a good one. Sayonara.